afternoon, Carnation crafters. Hopefully we're back. Hopefully we're back. The guys outside cut through a cable, which just turned us all completely off, which is very exciting. But we are just back. So what I will do is just give you a quick recap on what we're doing, and then we're going to get straight back into demo. I'm just sorting this out on here so I can find you all again. So huge apologies for that. So let me just find you on here. Welcome back. I did speak a little bit too soon, right? I could hear them and then suddenly it just went. So I do apologise. Hey, Susan Hawkes, are you okay? So just to very quickly go through what we're doing today, we are doing the concept card shapes from Carnation Crafts. These are hand selected by Carnation Crafts for ones that have been the most popular. My boss is currently trying to ring me. I do apologise, Mark. I'm live on air, so I can't do anything. Miss Taz, are you able to just pop him a message just to let him know we are back on air? Hey, Suzanne. Hey, Jacqueline Ward. Hey, Pam Lillington. I do apologise. They cut through a cable outside which killed the internet, but we are back. So the concept card shapes, there are 7 for you to choose from. These have been hand selected by Carnation Crafts. Carnation also have a very exciting time happening at the minute as well. So if you go onto the deal of the day on the Carnation Crafts website, they've got a special offer for you for the full weekend, which is free P&P on anything that is over £25. They also have like a great big bonanza going on, a savings which you can have, which is 25% off a lot of their spring lines. So you can pop onto the Carnation Crafts website on deal of the day and scroll through all of those things and help yourself to some free P&P if you spend over £25. What's super exciting is they are offering you the free P&P on the concept card shapes that they've got today. Now, the 10% discount that you normally receive in your newsletter cannot be used on sale items, but it can be used on the concept card shapes today, so you're going to get 10% off those. Yeah, a man cut through the cable, literally a man cut through the cable. Hello again, welcome back. Yeah, welcome back to you all. I am so sorry. I actually had super powered broadband installed in here a couple of months ago, so that didn't happen when we went live, and then a man cut through the cable. I said she didn't. I could hear somebody outside with a drill, and off he went and cut straight through it. But we're back. So the concept card shapes, there's 7 of them for you to choose from, and we've had a look at some of them in the demos previously. You can refer back to those. That'll still be on YouTube. It'll just be in 2 parts now. So one of the ones that we looked at first was the butterfly, the 3D butterfly. Let me grab these back, Miss Taz, and then I'll work through them. They may be slightly out of whack at this point. So the first one that we've got is your butterfly 3D card shape, which is just extraordinarily pretty. Look at that. It's from the Above the Clouds selection. It's beautiful. It's just stunning. So that is the first one. We did demo that in the earlier show, so you can go and have a look at that. That is on the number 210915. Show price of £39.99. Free UK P&P because of the deal of the day today. And if you use your 10% discount from your newsletter, you're going to get that for $35.99, Miss Taz? $35.99. Then you've got your reveal card shapes. We looked at this as well, and this allows you to have a tear strip in your cards that you can pull to reveal something. It's super clever. Again, go back and have a look at the previous one if you're new to this stream. That is 201106. That's your reveal card shape. That's $22.99. You're going to need to get something to take you over to £25 mark if you want free P&P on that, or you can use your newsletter code and get a 10% discount on it. So whichever you choose to do. The one that we are currently demonstrating, we're in the middle of demonstrating, is the vanity mirror card shape. So you'll see that come full force as we go through the demo with it. Absolutely stunning. 220815. Show price of £44.99. Free UK P&P, and with your 10% discount code from your newsletter, you'll get that for I don't know how much less, £4.99 less. Would it be 40 quid?
£40.
It's going to be roughly about 40.
It's £40, either 49 or 99. My memory does not serve me well.
you're going to get 10% discount off it, which is nice to know. There is also the mini soaring dove, which is beautiful, and it's a smaller version. I'm going to show you how to put the vignettes together for the larger version of this, but you do get vignettes for the small one too. That's a show price of $19.99. Free, no, it would be $2.95, sorry, UK P&P, because it is below the £25 threshold. 211046 on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. We've then got the twisted easel card shape here, which is really, really stunning. I'm going to try and get to this on demo as well. I'm going to try and get through as many of these card shapes as possible so you can see them all. 210423 for your twisted easel, show price of $39.99, free UK P&P. Use your 10% discount for that as well. Free P&P, it's always good to have. And then this is the last one that I'm hoping to get demoed, which is the Into the Garden, and that is absolutely gorgeous. That's from Garden Safari. Into the Garden 200502. Beautiful card shape. That's $34.99. Again, free P&P. You'll get your 10% discount off that. I am just going to let you know that they've started drilling again outside. We can't unfortunately stop them doing what they're doing at the council with the street, so hopefully we will stay with you. I'm just giving you a heads up. 200502. And then we have the Soaring Dove 3D card shape. This one is on the Carnation Crafts website, 210914. Show price $39.99, free UK P&P. What I will say to you very quickly before I go any further with the show or any further with demo, I can't unfortunately stop them from digging in the street. They won't stop for me. They're digging the whole of the street up. If we do disappear again, rather than keep bringing you in and bringing you back again, I'm going to carry on now and demo. If it does go again, whether we come back again after that point or not, I don't know. We'll talk to the boss about that and see what happens. If we don't, please do go to the Carnation Crafts website. You will find everything on there. The concept card shapes are a special today, and you will get them all for that show because you get your 10% discount and free P&P. However, Carnation, like I say, on the deal of the day today, 25% off a lot of their collections today for the spring line, so please don't miss out on that. Free P&P right across the weekend. This is a great time to collect certain things into your baskets and go and have a look at them. There's so much discount on there on loads of spring lines, so now is the time to do it. So that's your housekeeping out of the way. What's wrong, Miss Tiz Taz? Spring Forward. Spring Forward was the first collection that we ever did in the Carnation Crafts studios. That was a year ago. Just over a year. We went live on the 18th of March this time last year. So that is pretty much a new collection. We would class it as a new collection because it's only a year old. So we had got started onto this gorgeous, gorgeous vanity mirror card shape. This is from Oh So Chic. So it sits forward like a vanity mirror. Now, if you were to cut these parts in, say, a mirror card, you obviously get that full mirrored look. I love it just with these perfect papers. They're very soft and gentle. I'd got as far as putting my mats and layers on and putting some of the elements there. I'm just going to very quickly finish these up. As I said in the previous show, I'm not really trying to make full card demos particularly here. The whole point of today is to show you the card shapes. We have done full shows on all of these previously, but just to give you a good idea of what they look like, because they're so beautiful and so pretty. I wanted to get you to be able to see as much as you could, even though it's not really about the full collections, just the shapes. But aren't they beautiful? So gorgeous. One of my favourite ever dies, and I don't know why, it's always stuck with me, that one. I think it's so pretty. That perfume bottle, that's from Oh So Chic. Beautiful cut lines in it, which allow me to manipulate it, pull it round, and allow me to create that gorgeous perfume bottle shape, doing very little in the way of having to shape it with a ball tool. And then put plenty of pin flare on there so that it sits high. Raise those flowers slightly. Just place under. Look at that beautiful dimension that we get with the perfume bottle sitting there. Really pretty, isn't it? Just gorgeous. And then I'm just going to take these combs, little bit of wet glue, and I'm just going to put the wet glue on the little fronds of the comb. Not all of them, just some of them. And I'm just going to tuck, just to create that little bit of dimension that sits forward. And then once I've placed it, I can raise that and just put a tiny little amount just underneath there and just secure it. And then I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. I do apologise about my voice. It's just going ever so slightly, so I do apologise. Normal service will resume. Little bit under here, just secure it, make sure I'm roughly in the right area. How beautiful is that? I love this collection very, very much. It's very pretty. You can add bits. I've got some, because normally I would want to finish my working out here. I'm not keen on the naked edge, so I could put some florals. That is from a different collection. These are from the Above the Cloud collection, but let's use them anyway because they're sitting next to me, and let's just finish that with a bloom. Those blues go together. Remember, Carnation always use the same kind of hues and tones. So everything goes together. So this is a completely different collection, and I can still add those florals in because the blues are tone on tone. That's the importance of Carnation. It's where Carnation really comes into its own because it's powerful. Am I okay to turn that around, Miss Taz, so we can see the vanity shape? See how that sits and plays, and you've got that vanity shape where the mirror sits forward, so you get that beautiful expansion on it, and it sits proud and loud, and it's beautiful, really pretty, very soft and very gentle. So that's your next card shape. That's your vanity mirror card shape. That's 220815 on the Carnation Crafts website, and you've got that show price today of $44.99. Yeah, $44.99. Remember to use your 10% discount from your newsletter. Free P&P on that, free P&P all weekend, £40 and 49 pence if you use your 10% discount. I think I'm going to sneeze. I will try not to. So let's go in then with your little shape from the, this one is the Into the Garden set from Garden Safari. Let me just open this out. Get me bits and me bats out, Miss Tiz Taz. Me bits and me bats. Is looking at me like I'm strange. She always looks at me like I'm strange. It's nothing new. So for this one, so Into the Garden card shape, let me just find it amongst these. Here we go. Let's have a look at the metal. So for this piece, I'm just gonna, let me just make sure the glue doesn't spread too much on there. So as you can see, this piece is the largest piece, and I have cut, or I have scored a tiny line here on the back piece, and that is normally I would you know, I would make sure that it's hidden, and that's still what I want to do, but I'm trying to achieve, because on my next piece what I've done is allowed for this, which is so pretty, right? So that's this piece, and instead of creating it as an extra piece that goes on top, I've cut into the card. We're creating an aperture with that, and because I can choose where I want that to go, I need the score line to be on the back, and I need it to be hidden. So that's why it's so thin, that score line, because if I want it on that side, that's going to allow me to open the card from the back point, and it allows me to have that beautiful hidden sort of piece, so that I get that gorgeous piece at the front. So that's what I'll do for this, just to show you how I was doing it, but you could have it either side. Like I say, these aren't really, how do I phrase it, official card demos. These are more about the card shape and different ways of using them. This isn't going to be entirely straight because I can't lean over, so I do apologise. Let me just, best as I can, up there, and commit. Right, so what we've got here is the back panel is now my scored panel, and that's going to sit that way, which allows me to have that beautiful shape without any bending on this panel, so nothing gets put out of place, so it allows it to sit forward. But how pretty is that? Now, because we've got that sort of beautifulness, I can put something behind it if I so chose, in order to just bring out the colours. So using one of those Garden Safari perfect papers, I can just pop that behind, and that's going to really make that jump. It's going to give it that really gorgeous lift that you can do. So I will just create my tabs, do one at this side as well. And what I've done is just cut that on that edge. Miss Taz is saying the number for the perfect papers 200514. I've just cut that straight down there so that I can just edge it onto here, because obviously I scored at that point. Just bear with, and then I can pull and pull. So I've got that just sitting at the back. I've poked myself, as you can see, with my pokey tool, so apologies if I get a little smear of blood. It's only my own, it's all good. Nobody else is going to come near me. So we've got that. Now, one of the things that we can do with that card base, where I've cut that into the card, I can cut it as a separate panel. So I've got options. So what I could do if I wanted to, I'm not going to specifically for this card demo, but I could glue that straight on top. So I'd still have the aperture, but I'd have a beautiful piece of colouring on top as well, which I really, really like. For the sake of this demo, I really do like the white though, the white playing on the green. There's something about it, but I do have other options. And because I'm not using mats and layers on the top, that is something that we might want to do just to add in that tonal pop, that pop of colour. What I'm going to use is, however, the other piece from the same card shape cut with the vignette that is in the whiter colour. So this is that trellis panelling, and I'm just going to pop that at the other side just to give me a bit of a background. Really, it's just to give me some dimension, and also so you can see all of the bits from this card shape. No height here, no lift. If I wanted lift, I could put it onto foam tape and just very, very carefully edge it with foam tape. There's a tiny little panel here, can you see? Where that doesn't come out, where I've got my glue there. I could put foam tape there, and that would give me some beautiful shadow play. Absolutely just play and experiment with that. And I'm going to pop it roughly about central. Just there, using those points, and then push in, and that allows me to commit. So I now got this beautiful kind of play. This is my main showstop right here. That's giving me the colour, but this gives me height behind. So I don't need to build height too high with the elements that I'm putting on it. Otherwise I would have this weird white space here that wouldn't make any sense. This allows me to not have to use the whole space because I'm using it with this panel, but I can still play. So I hope that makes sense. It just allows me to avoid too much height. Now, what I'm going to do is play with height from the elements that come from Garden Safari. And interestingly enough, Miss Taz, Garden Safari is the first ever Carnation collection that I ever went to air with on Create and Craft TV. Yeah, it's the first one I ever went to air with.
I can't remember what the first one I produced was. I think it might have been Precious Flowers. One of the first ones.
It's a long, long time ago now, isn't it? Garden Safari. It's my first ever Carnation show. Feels like a lifetime ago now. Look at those little mice, aren't they sweet? It's got a little hat on. It's got a little backpack. Beyond cute. Right, let me just... a little bit of glue on these just to build up those layers, build up that height and that interest. Aren't they cute?
I really like them.
He's got a little hat.
Which one are you?
I'd be the one clinging on for dear life.
With all the supplies.
With all of the supplies. And I'm going to go in with a little shovel. Now I need to just allow it to go off the edge of the card, not covering either of the mice, and just with enough of it on show. So I'm not going to put it too low, so I'll put it so it's sort of floating, which will look odd to start with. Just allowing it there. And then I've got some florals just to add. So we're building layers. Now for these ones, I'm going to put them on pin flare. I would normally shape them out with my ball tool, but I am just trying to sort of run through the demos as quickly as possible for you. So that covers the working of that spade. It just sits there as part of the design of the card with those layers built up. The beautiful panel at this side. And I could leave it there, but little dude needs a place. Now I've got to be careful here, because if I'm just going to put pin flare or glue on him, it's going to go to my backing page at the bottom, which I don't want it to do. So your best way of dealing with those is to make sure that you put the glue on the actual piece itself and attach the element to it, rather than trying to attach him separately. And he's going to sit very proud of his little garden looking over those mice. I'm going to leave it at that, but I could have, if I wanted to, added in his little friend, the little hodge pig. Should we just add him just because, Mrs. Taz? So if I just put some glue on his side, he's going to overlap the Cyril Squirrel. Just like so. And there he is, very handsome and very cute. And I think that's probably about as traditional Carnation as we get, isn't it? Just very, very sweet. But I think what's interesting, I am going to do I've got 2 more things to do for you all. But I think what's interesting is when we look at the 3 that we've made, at how completely different they are. And yet how completely Carnation they are. It's funny, isn't it? Because they're not similar at all. Every Carnation collection is different, but they are so distinctly Carnation. And I love that about Carnation, because I can add in the little houses from here. I could build a scene onto here. I could add elements. So these, which are from the Above the Clouds collection, I can add in to this. I could add in the little trees from the Above Clouds collection. I could put them with this. I could add elements. I can build and I can play, and they won't clash. They'll still go. That's Carnation through and through. It's the power of Carnation, and that's why things like the concept cards are so important, because they are distinct, but they are also individual, and they're really, really strong cards to use. They're powerful cards. So I'm glad that we got to do this show. Now the next one that I'm going to do for you is again not a full-on card, but it's just to show you the Twisted Easel and how it comes together, because it's beautiful. Debbie has bought the butterfly from the earlier collection. Absolutely, it's so pretty, the butterfly one. It's so gorgeous. So this is the Twisted Easel. So let me just get all the bits and move them out of the way. So that's your main card. That's what we cut. Looks like a pair of glasses, okay? And you've got a little score line that goes across the middle panel here, and that allows you to fold it over into your card shape, your card base. Then you've also got a score line that goes down the centre here, and that allows you to do your Twisted Easel, because as the 2 come together, it becomes your mechanism for your card. So it's super easy. You don't have to do anything here. Like, it's so easy to do. It's just a joy to work with. I love, love, love the Twisted Easel. I find Twisted Easels really hard to work out in my head. Miss Janine did show me once how to do it all. And yeah, my brain just got a little bit fried by it, I'm afraid. So this makes it so much easier for me. So I'm just going to place my mats in right there. Well, for the Twisted Easel, oh, I know.
Car driving.
We normally have a bit of a furore, don't we? So let's have a look at these panels. Now for this one here, I've got the half panel, and this is part of the Twisted Easel. So you've got the full panel here and you've got your half panel. And this is the one I'm going to use for the Twisted Easel, but I wanted the full doily. I didn't want to do half of it. So I've just created that. Now what I'm going to do is put another one just on the inside of this piece, because I think it's so pretty, that beautiful textural. Got to tell you, if you have a dark blue sitting under here and you use that instead of the pink, it would come to life in such an amazing kind of dramatic china way. It would look like china. So play with your colours as well, because your colour theory is going to change the end result of your card in such a gorgeous way. So I'm just going to place through. And place on. I've got a feeling I'm skew whiff on that, but I'm not going to worry about it too much at the minute. Right, so this one, same thing, but this one is going to sit across this way, because I'm just going to put that on because it's going to work on my mechanism. So my pink is only halfway across. So same thing, I'm doing a little bit of wet glue. Got to tell you, I would probably use red liner if I was doing this as a proper demo. My reasoning being that it would be a stronger adhesion, but I'm fine with it just like this for this demo, and it will work for you at home as well if you want to use wet glue. I just prefer that stronger adhesion. So for this, whenever we're doing easels, we need a stopper. We've got to stop that card from moving, because if I just leave it, it's going to fall down. I've got to put a stopper here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just place another center point just on top. I could choose to use that, but it's not going to be strong enough to hold my whole mechanism in place. So I'll just put this down for the time being. I'm not worried about it being too straight when you're at home. Please do make sure you sit in a line. but that will do for just for now. Now my twisted easel is going to sit that way, so I know that this point is my top point. It's the part that's going to sit forward when it's on a mantelpiece. So I need everything that's on here to be aligned with that point. So where I've got it, I'm just going to turn it round. That's the point I'm aligning everything with. So I need it to be straight this way, not straight on the angle of my little layer there. So I've got a sentiment that I'm going to use. And this comes with this card shape and it says best wishes. So I'm going to place that. We'll place it about central. And what I'm going to do is just bring in, we'll bring in a couple of little leaves. These also come with, the vignettes are for this card shape. Just a couple of little leaves here. Just tucking it under that sentiment. Aren't they so pretty? Little magnolia flowers. Just shape them out. Little leaves. Just placing through. Build a little floral scene. Very clean and fresh. And then I'll pop those just on that one. But I need a stopper, and I'm going to go with the same theme. So where that sits upright, I'm going to build now on here, because I need that to now have something in order to stop that mechanism moving. So this time I want to use some of the larger leaves, or one of the larger leaves at the very least. So I'm going to work with the leaves first and place. And I want it to roughly go through the centre. I'm going to cover my working of my leaf with my florals. So I just want to make sure that I'm placing it at a point where I can put a floral and it will make sense. So just placing a couple of those there. Like I say, adding in a couple of florals. So I've got a stopping mechanism. Really simple, really easy card to make. Cover my workings. One last floral, and I'll just pop it here. It's very noisy outside, Mr. Taz. It does sound like fireworks. Really pretty, really, really gorgeous. And I've now got my little stopping mechanism to allow that twisted easel to just sit. Really beautiful, and it's such an easy concept because the twisted easel card's going to come in for so many things, and it allows us to play in loads of different ways. You don't need to use the filigree, for instance. If you wanted your panels to just be the plain, this piece where I've used the filigree, you could instead use the plain panel that I've used at the bottom. You can use it twice to give you that twisted twisted easel filigree, or you could essentially just use that small part that's underneath the back of the card. You could use that shape if you wanted to. Entirely up to you as to how you want to bring everything together. And again, something completely different to the other cards that we've used, and that's the importance of the concept card shapes. It's the fact that there's so many different things that we can do, all using different card shapes, all distinctly Carnation, and all very, very unique and different. And that's really important. It's really lovely to have. So the last demo I've got for you isn't a card at all. I'm pretty sure. Have I done them all, Miss Taz? I'm pretty sure I have. Pretty sure I've done them all. What I need to do is get rid of that glue somehow. Anyway, let's not worry about that. What I want to just show you, for those of you who don't know, is just how to put these ones together, because not all of you know how to do these, just in order for you to create your mirrored vignette. So the mirrored vignettes that we get allow us to create something that is double-sided, as we've said, a mirrored vignette. So you would fold it on your black line here, spray glue the inside, pop that on top. From which, thanks, Miss Taz, I'll pop that on top of the glue, and then I won't get it all over the vignette. So what we've got here is something different. So where the black line is on a normal vignette in the middle, we can't fit it on here because it's too big. Now what we can see is that you've got your little panel here and one here, and they match. And one says mirrored, the other doesn't, and that means I've got a pair. Okay, one will say mirrored, the other doesn't. That's your pair, so they're going together. Now the problem is, if I try and overlap that onto that, I can't see what's what, I can't see what's where, and it overlaps the wing there, so I can't do that. If I fold both of them on the black line, I'm not going to be able to put them up together, so that's not going to work either. Now what I normally do, and I don't know if I can pick this up or not, Miss Taz, just bear with. Let me see if I can do it without falling off my chair. Always a risk, Miss Taz. So what I tend to do with mine, and it doesn't matter which one you do it on, I tend to, let me just see if I can see through. I tend to just cut it. You don't have to, but I find this easier. So I cut mine on the black line on one, and I leave it on the other. So I cut it there, and then I glue them there. And before I glue them, you see how they match? Before I glue them, I take the other one and I fold it on my black line. And I always do that first because it's easier than me trying to fight with it in a minute. So I just fold that on the black line first, then I unfold it and I put a line of glue down there. Now it doesn't matter what you use because you're not going to use it, it's not going to stay. It's just to adhere them together to start with. It doesn't matter whether it's red liner, it doesn't matter whether it's Pritt stick, it doesn't matter whether it's wet glue. There is no right or wrong because you're just getting them aligned. That's all we're doing at this stage. So you'll take more time than I am over this and you'll get it exact. I'm probably not going to. I'm first of all going to put my glasses on so I can actually see what I'm doing. I try and get my middle one first, line to line, and then I lay it down, line to line, line to line. Okay, now you'll see that overlaps and that overlaps. That's why we use Nick's guidance. Nick knows. Nick's got it right. Okay, he's our guru. We're going to follow Nick. See, he's given me those line points that I can use. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to just try and fit it page to page because they're going to not be correct. So that's why I do it that way, and that's why I follow Nick's guidelines for it. And then I turn it over and I just fold it. Now I can, if I want to, if I'd use, say, a really thin piece of red liner, I could get rid of that piece as well. I'm not bothered about it. It doesn't get in my way. It's not bothering me in any way. Just if it annoys you at home. I'm going to use some spray mount down here. And I'm just going to put those together. Okay, nothing extreme at all. But what you can see, and what's really important, is that there is a bleed line. And you see that darker patch that goes around his beak and around his wings. There's a darker bleed line, and that's there to allow us just the extra room to put the dye on. Gives us a little bit of leeway. So you just take this out of here. So he's sitting on this piece. Now I need to just pull him this way, these ones, and just make sure I don't pull that red liner. So you do this slowly. If your red liner starts to come away with the dye, just use your pokey to guide it and then pull it gently. Use your card to pull, not the dye. See, if I put my hand underneath, I can guide it. Come straight off. That's never been opened before. So it's just how we guide it out of its packaging to allow it to sit straight. And then I'm going to take my plates. Place that on top. And then I can put the plates on top and obviously put this then through my machine. And that's going to cut me out a full card base, which means it's all beautiful and clear and it's all working exactly as I need it to. And then I can just pull it like we did with that butterfly to create that scape and that scene. And that'll be mirrored, which means I've got the information, if you like, the artwork on both the front and the back, so the back of the card will look just as pretty. And that's even more important when we're doing a card base like this, because, so just gently pull that away. You see how cut tidy helps me to bring things forward? Cut tidy is super, super important. It's your best friend when you're die cutting. It just allows everything to release much easier. And so as I pull him, and if you've got a die and it's not coming straight out of the die, don't just grab it and arrive it. You can use a pokey tool. Can you see how Carnation put holes in? You can use a pokey tool on the back and push your die out. So don't ever just yank it, because you can rip it. But that, my friends, is my soaring dove. So that's him that way. That's him that way. Easily put together. He's now double-sided. All I need to do is use my score lines that we talked about at the beginning. Excuse me. Pull that forward. Pull that forward. Pull his wing. Put that together. Fold his body. Put his head forward, and I can choose to do that the opposite way or pull it forward, whichever is easiest for me and whichever achievement I want to make with the card. And then as I turn him around, how stunning is that? How absolutely stunning is that? Just let me take a mouthful of my brew, Miss Tiz Taz, because I am coughing. We do a little bit of lift music while I cough and choke and splutter, and my eyes are watering in the background. But really, really stunning. And this is the thing with Carnation. If we just hold that so I can bring the butterfly in as well, because I think they are just extraordinary, those card bases. So there he sits as well. Well, I don't know why I'm tipping at that point, Mr. My eyes are watering so badly right now. I do apologise to everybody at home. There'll be makeup smeared down my face. There he is. It's because of my tree in the centre. There. How beautiful. How absolutely stunning. Really, really pretty. So you've got both of those. There's so many in the concept card shapes. You've got 7 today to have a look at. Excuse me. Yes, 7 to look at today. Please do go onto the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Please apologise if I've got makeup all down my face. Have a look at the concept card shapes. They are on, you know, a special today in that you can use your free P&P and you can also use your 10% discounts. You get a really good deal on them. So many to choose from. And then make sure you go and have a look at the sale items as well. I do apologise. 25% off today on their spring items. Go and have a look at Deal of the Day, because Deal of the Day is amazing every day. Please make sure you keep up on it. Debbie says, would the large die go through a big shot? Platinum foldable machines. I would say it needs to be an A4. I don't know what they are. I am trusting my cut and boss. Excuse me, if it's an A5, it will be too small. But you would fit the mini soaring dove on the A5. If it's A4, go through no problem. So I hope that helps. Right, I will let you go so that I can go and get a drink, because I'm slightly having problems at this side. That's been a really enjoyable morning, and it's so nice to have your company back again. I do apologise for all of the absence and then for the interruption in the middle of the show. Really take care of yourselves. I will see you next week. Miss Sharon will also see you next week. And I think Sharon is on Tuesday, I believe. Tuesday at 2 with us. She's also on CNC before that. I'll be with you on Tuesday as well, and then we'll see you on Friday as well as that. So you take care of yourselves. If you want to know what's coming up on Carnation Crafts, please do look at the calendar on the Carnation Crafts website. It's got all the shows that are coming up, exactly what's coming up available to you, and what die launches we're doing, what back to wears and what USBs. Until then, please do take care of yourself. Nice to see you. Bye bye.